Welcome to Everything Life and Real Estate. Let's get started with our hosts, Linda McKissick and Dana Gentry.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Everything Life and Real Estate. I'm Linda McKissick.
And I'm Dana Gentry.
Hey, Dana, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. So we get to finish our goals, which, by the way, I was so jealous of you being in warm Florida last week, writing your goals, and you just inspired me to do it in cold Ohio instead.
I have to it was so funny though this year, Linda, because normally we get down there and I'm like, okay, it's going to be a new year and I'm ready. And like, I've got all my 135s and my planners and all my stuff. And I was like, I kept looking at Adam saying, do you think something's wrong with me? And then what I realized after reflecting on it was, it took me like 5 days to actually wind my brain down.
Yeah. Yes.
I think it was just from like going so fast and I couldn't even think, which is totally not like me to not be able to come up with I couldn't even think of goals for it. I was like, okay, something's wrong. And then after a few days, I was like, okay, I'm just going to put my phone away and like really not focus on anything and just try to chill out. And then as soon as by about day 4, I was like, okay, now I was starting to get in the swing of things.
Yeah. I think that's your body saying, I need some rest.
Yeah.
I'm not ready. I don't want to go.
Yep. I think so too. I think that's exactly what it was. But
for me, it usually takes 3 days anywhere. When I go to the ocean or anywhere, it usually takes me 3 days. By that 3rd day, I'm ready to revamp, reorganize, take over the world.
I did something I learned from John Maxwell, which I need to send you this podcast episode. I'll listen to it. And it was so good, but he goes through about how he ends his year and he gives the list. Maybe you've heard this before, but I had never heard it. He gives you kind of a list of like what he does at the end of every year. And it's more than just like reflecting. It's like actually pretty in depth with like the things that he goes over. And one of the things he does is he looks at his entire calendar for the last year. And that's kind of how he reflects on his time. And like, where did he need to add more time in? What was he doing that wasn't moving the needle forward with him and his mission or his vision or his income or whatever it was? He gave all these great things. And so when I looked at that, one of the things I realized is as soon as New Year's Day is over, I'm like right back into the grind. And so this week, I decided to stay in Charleston and I'm still doing Zooms and some calls, but I'm not like right back into the grind because I wanted just to use this week to further the plan, like further planning on the things that I set. And I feel like it's been really, Heather said, I'm really proud of you for doing that. I was like, thanks. I do think that it's going to make a difference.
Well, and don't you feel like this is kind of a slow week for most people anyway?
Definitely.
It really doesn't. It doesn't. Not everybody gets vamped back up again.
Yep. I totally agree. Yeah, totally agree.
Okay. So, all right. So you kick us off. What do you got? When you did start thinking of goals, what did you write down?
Oh my gosh, I have so many. And then I made this vision board and then I pushed it out and then I thought of 3 more things.
By the way, I tried to buy your vision board thingy and I don't know what I did wrong.
Oh, I'll help you. Like hundreds of people have done it. I'm so happy. People have been sending me theirs all the time.
Yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm at least going to get it and then I'll have my assistant do it.
That's what I was going to say. What you can, we'll have Heather help her. We'll knock it out. But I love it because I keep it like it's on my phone.
I love it. It's so cool.
My laptop, my screen set, like everywhere. I just put it.
I love it.
So my word this year, I went back and forth. I really was going to make it unforgettable. And then I just kept feeling like that wasn't it. So my word this year is impact. And I want to make an impact in the businesses, in the community, in my spiritual life, everything. I just want everything. I want to think about impact in every single thing that we do. And so I'll start with my largest one, which I listened to this really great podcast from Stephen Chandler, the preacher that we met at John Maxwell. And he said the difference between a goal and a dream and a fantasy. And he said a goal is a desired future that you can get to without God. A dream is you can't get to it without God. Like it's a God-sized dream. And then a fantasy is like something that it's a desired future created by unhealth, insecurity, or like something like you just say, I want to do that because it'll make me look better, or I'm unshadowing a part of my life. So when I was thinking about that, the biggest thing I came up with for next year is I want to total tithe and give $100,000, which is more than I ever have before. And I know it's a little less than double this year, but I know I can get there. So everything I want to do, I'm trying to push it towards that, because I had a huge aha. This is a long story short, but it is a good story. When the tornado stuff happened, when the horrible, tornadoes happened in Kentucky. Okay. I said, well, we can do something to help. So I created a Venmo for our KW1 team, and which I think Jimmy does this because he's on more than you are, but Jimmy did donate. So thank you.
Yeah. Actually, I might've donated on Jimmy's phone.
Oh, maybe you did. Okay. Thanks. It always pops up Jimmy on that. But anyway, I said, okay, we've got 72 hours. Let's just raise I wanted to raise $3,000, and we raised $3,000 in the first 45 minutes. And I told Terry, I said, I felt like God was telling me, like, you're dreaming way too small. Like, you need to go. So in 3 days, we raised $25,000, and I actually have a video that I'm getting ready to share on Instagram and Facebook. But when we were, Linda, this is crazy. When we were in the parking lot of Costco, loading the big U-Haul truck, we raised $1,200 in the parking lot, because people just kept saying, is this going to Western Kentucky? We've wanted to help. We want to make a difference, but we didn't know. We want to know that it's getting there. We didn't know where to give or who to give to or any of that stuff. And they were just pulling out, these little old ladies were giving us $50 bills out of their pocketbooks. And like, it was just, I was like a wreck, but it was so cool. So I was just thinking, this year, I just want to have like an outrageous giving goal and make it be a dream. And then I'll just figure out a way to get there.
Yeah, I love it. And that kind of ties in with what John always tells us, that you have to have dreams so big that only God can help you get them done, that there's no way you could do it by yourself. I always think about that when I'm thinking, let's say our church is raising money for a building fund. While I'm even thinking about what I'm going to give, somebody's giving millions of dollars. And I'm like,
so true.
So basically God's saying, I don't really need you, but while you're trying to figure out what you're going to do, I've already got this whole thing done,
So true. Yep. So true.
Awesome. Okay. So for me, I put trust God and give more to the Salvation Army. And I put trust God because we had a hellacious year with Jimmy's health. And it made me realize that nothing is guaranteed. As much as I love my life the way it is, it's never guaranteed it's going to stay that way. And your health is something that, when it's not there, it's the one goal you do wish you had, because without it, nothing else seems to matter. Yep. So I just put that I needed to trust God more. And my devotionals have really been along this line, that you have to trust that, he's got a big plan and you're only looking at one small piece of that big plan. So that was number one for me.
Love that. Yeah. I love that. That's such a good one, it can be hard to do. I need to send you this thing I was reading about that. I won't forget to do that. I'll have to send that to you. Okay, let's see. My number two, I'll do business one. My number two. So I developed this KW, one team for all the leadership teams of my market centers. And we're in the 3 different states in the region now, Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana. And so I'm setting a 1 team goal now. Like, the market centers have specific goals, but an overall big goal for us. And I want to be at 700 agents total by the end of the year. Number 1 in the region, number 1 market share in every city that we're in, and to have made a big impact in the community after we implement all of our yellow text ideas.
Yeah.
And then there were other little things with that. I want us to hit our goals mid-year so that I can take them all to the Live to Lead event in Atlanta again. And then just continue to do our quarterly retreats, because it's about 35 or 40, I think, total staff on the leadership team between all 3 of the market centers now.
Wow.
And the more that we can be together, I think the better. So that's a big goal for me for this year.
I love it.
To just pour into them more.
Yeah. Love it. So, number 2 for me was take classes on Colby. I want to learn more about that assessment on how people take action. I love doing it, but I don't understand it well enough. And so I want to try to find a class that I can either go to or do on Zoom or something.
Yep. So it's funny you say that. I have Heather looking at that business account thing that Shannon told us about, because I wanted to do that too this year. That's like, I want every single person on our team to take that, and for us to really like deep dive around it.
Yeah. Love it.
Oh gosh. Okay. This one is a material one, but it does make sense. I kept saying all last year I was going to get a Tesla to save me time because I've averaged spending 22 hours a month in the car, I think was my average for last year driving, which is a lot of time. And so I'm trying to get better balance between being in Charleston and being in Lexington or in the region. So I think I'm going to go ahead. I really want to get a Tesla to stay at the Kentucky house because then I could have the flexibility of flying back and forth. Cause right now I don't have a car there. You know what I mean?
Oh,
so,
yeah.
So I could fly, but then I don't have a car. So I think that in order for me to have better control of my time and my calendar and more efficiency when I am in the car that much, or I am driving a lot, I'm going to get a Tesla and keep it there, which I put that on my vision board, and Sarah Woody texted me and she's like, it's about time. I've been wanting you and Linda to get Teslas for 5 years.
That's so funny. Well, just tell her I got the charging station if y'all will get the Tesla.
That's right.
We got charging stations at our Dayton Market Center. All right. So number 3 for me is Get Coaching by Joel Manby, the guy who wrote Love Works. I signed up at Exchange this year and they're still getting it going, but that should be kicking off pretty soon. I'm super pumped about that because I really just love his leadership style, and I've been looking for a really good leadership coach, and so I'm pumped about that.
I love him. He's
Me
so
too.
Good.
Yeah.
I'll never forget the first time I read Love Works. It was like total light bulbs for everything. Okay. My next one is to have 3 minimum trips or times with John Maxwell. When I was reflecting back on last year and on all the years, my best learning times and just us all being together and all that have been the times with John. And I just don't want to have that one time a year. I feel like time's too short and life's too short and you just never know, so we're going to do 3 minimum trips. So I think we've nailed it down. Costa Rica for the transformation, and then the round table with Dan Kathy of Chick-fil-A. And then of course, Exchange, which is in San Diego. So that'll be a good one.
Yep. I'm excited. Yeah, I'm going to do 2 of those for sure this year. So number 4 for me is have calls regularly with top agents. And I I was going to do 3 per week, and I decided I'm not doing 3, not even getting close. So I'm going to put that at minimum of 1 per week.
So what's going to qualify them as a top agent? Do you know?
I think people that are, I hate to say a certain level of production, but pretty much people who are trying to build bigger businesses. They have leverage, or they're trying to work through leverage. I don't really get jazzed by somebody who's trying to do it all themselves. That just doesn't jazz me at all. Yeah. I really like people who have said, hey, I understand leverage. I understand the power of leverage. I want to create more leverage and freedom in my life. And so I would say that's kind of how that is. So whatever production level that person is at to do that.
Yep. Love that. That'll be good. Okay, let's see. My next one was around just being intentional with spending time with people that I care about. So I have 3 vacations planned, non just me and Adam trips, but our girls trip, which I talked about on the last episode, and then a trip with Chris and Caitlin and my nephew, and then Adam's sister and their kids and all of us, like our family kind of trip. And then Adam and Josh and Heath, my best friends, and I are doing a Europe trip in May. So we've wanted to do that for a long time. And then COVID, happened. So we've been putting it off for really probably 3 years. We've talked about it. So this year we're just going to bite the bullet and do it.
That'll be fun. Yeah. Just put it in and put it in ink. That way you can't erase it.
Yes, that's right.
Unless COVID erases it. Ugh, sick of COVID.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll lump a few of them together. One, I want to write another book on my formula, the relationship plus validity plus value, a person's value gap over time.
Yep.
So I'm going to, this year, really, I put it on my list last year and didn't get it done. So I'm going to really work on getting a book written on that. And I want to create a workshop like Strategic Coach for the Dallas area, where I have people fly in the night before. We do dinner at my house. The next day we do thinking tools, tools. So I'm super pumped about that. And then the other one I'll put in with this one is to finish our wealth building online course. We've had that on our list for the last 2 or 3 years, and I want to get that done this year.
Yeah. Well, for one, I'm really glad that you said that because I use that formula for everything. And I know Adam uses it all the time. I know so many people use it and love that. And I've wanted you to write that book for a long time since you told me about it. So that'll be great.
Yeah. And, I figured out it's been a while. It's been last year, but I figured out if you actually work it backwards, if you've got a personal problem, if you say, what's my value gap? What's missing in my life? And you work it backwards, you can actually solve any personal problem that you have.
Wow. So time and relation. Yeah.
Yeah. Because here's the thing. If my value gap is, I need to be a better parent, or I need to be a better friend, or I need to know how to do something. Okay. My gap is this. What validity do I currently have, or who has validity in that area? And then what relationships do I need? I mean, I've just really thought through this a lot. So I think the first part of the book is going to be of how to use the formula in business. And then the last part is going to be, now let's take it and let's take you through a personal issue and show you how to solve a personal issue by doing it backwards.
I love that. I think that's genius. That'll be so good.
Yeah. So that's, I've had it, the second year I've had it. So this is the year to get that done.
Well, you inspired me with your books, and so I'll lump a couple together. So my best friend, Josh, and I, he owns the largest property management company. And then he passes his referrals, and we also do our real estate team together. But we started our blog, probably, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago. And we got, we haven't 100% decided on this. We're still praying on it, but we got a production company reached out to us from HGTV. So we have a Zoom with them next week just to initially kind of like ask questions and what it would be like. Yeah. But one of our goals is we do want to grow our YouTube this year to 10,000 subscribers. And we want to start with one of those small books, like you shared with me on being an entrepreneur and growing businesses, but truly doing it with somebody that's your best friend or your partner or that you care about. Because I think sometimes people think when you do it with people like that, it gets too messy and they're afraid to. Really, I think if you have the right kind of secret sauce and the trust and all those things, it can be amazing. Yeah. And so that we both put that on our list for this year. And I'm just excited to see where it'll go to.
That'll be great. That'll be so fun. I put, one of mine is to do 10 CVs. I did a few CVs this year and really enjoy getting to know people better, top agents better. So I want to do a minimum of 10 CVs this year with different people that I don't really know yet.
Take them through the process, you mean, or teach it?
No, do career visioning on some top agents to get.
Oh yeah, I love that. Yeah,
I did a few of them this year and I really like that. So I upped my goal to 10 this year for that. And on teaching, I did put to teach Fierce twice. One is for you.
Yep.
And then to teach Quantum Leap, which I've got that on the books also this year, because those are the classes that I really love to teach. And it kind of brings it home for me to always be checking in on all that material.
Well, I also love that you had that as a goal, because I know several of the people that you did the career visioning process on, and it was like life-changing for them. So yeah. I think that's just so cool to be able to pour into other people, and they loved it too. Oh my gosh, let's see what else I have. I'm trying to look at my little vision board right here. I have so many others. This year, one of the things that I really loved that I did was I held a book club on Super Attractor, and I met a lot of great people through that, a lot of people in real estate and a lot of people that weren't in real estate. And I just had some really cool connections through that. So I want to do 2 more this year. I want to do one on Chase the Lion, because I've had hundreds of people comment on Facebook that they want to do that one. I'm so thankful for Jen Davis introduced me to that book. It's so good. And then the second one is the book I'm reading right now, which I shared with you, that is so good, called It by Craig Rochelle. Yeah. And it's old.
Oh yeah. I've been listening to that.
Oh, don't you like it? I mean, it's all about, like, have you ever looked at somebody and you're like, man, they've got it, or man, that business has it. And then it's like, one, if you don't have it, how do you get it? Yeah. And then 2, how do you keep it? I mean, I've highlighted like every other word. So I'm doing my whole vision retreat around that, because I just think I do that all the time. Like, I'll look at people and I'm like, man, they've got it. Like, they've got this stuff.
Yes. I love that. It's been, I haven't finished it yet, but it's very good.
It is very good. So I'm glad you like it. So I want to do 2 book clubs on those. And I like to do that to network with other people too.
Yep. Love it.
Sometimes it's nice to kind of get out of the real estate bubble, and meet other people in other areas of business.
Yeah. Love that. One that I put that I just decided this year, it's a simple one, but I'm going to learn to do more with the things I already have. Like learning more, what things does my iPhone do that I didn't know? Like I didn't know that Siri would tell me my calendar.
Oh yeah. She'll tell you anything. She tells me the weather every morning.
I mean, so I just want to really I have some really cool tools, but I just want to take those same things that I already have and learn to do more with those things.
Yep. Love that.
So I put that on my list and I've already started that one.
Okay. I don't know. All of mine I've pretty much talked about. Do you have any more?
Yep. I have a couple more. One on my health side, eat to my Zoe plan, which I know you just did, Zoe.
I forgot about
that. I want to eat more to that plan, on what that plan tells me to eat for my body.
Yep. I haven't got my results back yet.
And I love my cold plunge. I was telling my trainer today, I woke up yesterday, I had more energy than I've had. I went through 10 boxes in my garage because, we just moved back into our house.
Right.
And I had 10 boxes left and I went through every one of those yesterday. And I got up again today and I just had so much energy. And I think it's my cold plunge. I have been doing that religiously. And I'm seriously thinking that's the only thing I've done differently, other than try to eat on my Zoe plan pretty good. And I'm thinking that's making such a huge difference.
It probably is. So, okay. Well, the two things I know why, because I forgot to add them to my board, but I wrote them down to add tonight, which was we're redoing our backyard in Charleston and we're putting and I met with a contractor this morning. So I've been super pumped about it. He's supposed to get our plans back in 2 weeks, but we're doing it can be hot or cold. So like you can cold plunge it, or you can, make it be a hot tub or whatever.
Yeah.
And Adam has wanted a cold plunge for so long. So he will love it if you love it. He will love it if you love it, I'm sure. So that's definitely one thing. And then I forgot to send you this podcast, which I'm going to send you when we hang up or get off of here. But for me, I've decided that I'm not good with diets. Like I start and stop, and I said I was going to do hot yoga, 8 times a month last year. And then I hurt my knee and then that all went to hell. I mean, it's just I can't get consistent with anything with that. But I listened to this podcast and it totally changed my thinking around this girl who I follow, this big blogger. Her name's Mallory Irvin. She's in Nashville. Her and her dad won Amazing Race. She's from Kentucky. She's awesome. Her podcast is called Living Fully. And actually she reminds me of Bailey. I'm sure Bailey's listened to her, but she just speaks so well and all that stuff. But she found out she was pre-diabetic. And so after having babies and stuff, and she just had like this constant 30 pounds that she could not lose. And they were wanting to put her on like diabetes medicine and insulin and all this other stuff. So there's this girl named Amy who her husband plays in the NFL, and she's a nutritionalist. She's not a doctor, but she's whatever is in between. And anyway, she had her on her podcast because she put her on this it's basically all about eating whole. And it's not the Whole30.
I think you did send that to me because I already listened to it. Either you sent it to me or somebody else sent it to me.
Okay. It was really good.
It was very good. Yes.
Well, listen, listened to that, came home, us quick starts, threw every single thing away, went to Whole Foods and spent $664.
Yeah, I've done that.
Oh my gosh. But I will tell you, I felt so good the week of Christmas because every meal, like, in fact, I'm getting ready to fix it right now when we hang up. Every meal, like, it's still filling stuff and we still eat sweets and like, but it's just, she says, like, if there's more than 5 to 10 ingredients, like,
don't eat it.
Do not eat it. Or if it has any word that you cannot pronounce, then do not eat it. Or if it has gum or canola oil or whatever, all that crap, like, do not eat it. And she says, so I could tell, like, within a week, Linda, I felt, you know how I'm always bloated. I did not feel bloated. I felt like totally less inflamed. And I felt like I had a ton more energy and I wasn't starving all the time. Like, I think
you're going to find when you get your Zoe report, it's going to tell you exactly the same things.
Really? Yeah,
it is, because almost everything there will get a low score if it's got too much processed anything in there. I think it's going to tell you exactly the same thing. Pretty much everything does, it's whole foods. It's those kind of things.
Yeah. Well, my goal is to try to at least 5 out of 7 days of the week. I'm going to really it's just preparation. It's just going and getting it. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Having it planned
Well,
out.
And that Zoe thing, I think one of the goals is to try to eat greens, five servings a day of greens, which I think a serving's not very big, but, I want to say that's what it is. And I read a good book this year called Target 100, where it gets away from diet and all that stuff and just has a Target 100 thing of list you're trying to do. And it'd be things like that, like just eat whole foods, or just eat greens or whatever. So I think those kind of things are a lot simpler than, trying to follow a stupid plan.
I totally agree. I mean, it is more work, like when we were in Florida, Adam's mom, I mean, God love her, but I mean, she fixed like pigs in a blanket and just every bagel bites and Lay's, but I mean, just everything, which of course, is stuff I love to eat. Who doesn't? But I went to the grocery and took a rolling Yeti cooler into her condo in Florida. And she was like, you've got to be kidding me. I'm like, I'm really trying. But I felt better. I mean, I really did. And then I could tell the nights that we ate crap, which were New Year's Eve. Oh, I felt terrible the next day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It just zaps your energy. We tried Green Chef this at the end of the year. And I just started taking that places with me because, it's easy to take. And that's been really good. It's always good to go to Anna's because she always eats really good. She
Healthy.
Eats great. But when you go other places, if you don't take your food, it's just too hard. There's just too much crap around and it's just too easy not to do it. Yep. Okay. I'm going to wrap up with my last two.
Okay.
And if you think of anything else you want to add, let's see, round table with Dan, Kathy. I'm doing that with you this year whenever the time comes
for that.
Yeah. I'm excited about that too. And then, going to the Greenbrier with Jimmy and Tony fishing this year. One of the things I said was when Jimmy's health wasn't very good this year is, what are the things he's so good and so giving to me? What are the things that he loves to do that he would just love for me to go along with him?
Yeah.
And so, I went to Canada with him one year and he just loves for me to do that stuff.
That one was roughing it though, wasn't it?
That was real roughing it. Thank God Rhonda Smith went with us. But,
that's right.
I would do that one again. It's just 7 days with no phone and no internet. And that one's a tough one. But the Greenbrier is fun, because you've been there with me. So I'm going to do that one.
That was one of my favorite trips I've ever done. I really want Adam to do that. He would love it.
Yeah. So Tony sent me some dates. A lot of them don't work, but a couple of them do. So I'm going to for sure do one of those. And plus I realized that I like that just quiet time with you and the nature and the fish. And I like that kind of fishing, I guess. I don't think I like some other kind of fishing, but I like that kind of fishing. So I'm going to make a commitment to do that. And then one last thing is, I'm always doing things with the girls. So I'm going to try to do some things with my boys this year. Press and I are going to the Funnel Hacker Con.
Oh, that'll be great.
Yeah. We're taking our 2 internet people with us. Thank God, because they'll understand what everybody's talking about. But I'm excited about that. Good. Yeah. So we're doing that in September. And then my oldest son really likes like shooting and things like that. And sometimes I just go to lunch with him. So I'm going to do more like going to the shooting range. I need to learn how to shoot better anyway. So I'll do stuff like that with him because I'm always doing stuff with the girls, but I'm going to pull the boys in this year.
That's such a good idea. I love that. I love to go to the shooting range. I think you'll like it.
Yeah, I think I will too. It's one of those, it's kind of like playing games. The thought of it sounds horrible, but once you do it, you actually like it.
I think it's a stress reliever to go.
Which, by the way, there's a great game. We heard Jeff Foxworthy this year.
Oh, yeah.
We played this game with Tony and Diana a couple of weeks ago. We drove down to Austin to spend time with them, and it's called Relativity.
Oh, I've not heard of that.
Oh, it's hilarious, Dana. You will love it. It's like, here's an example. At my cousin's wedding, my grandma leaned over and said, and then you have cards and you put which card you think is the funniest answer to that. It is hilarious. I mean,
and then does everybody pick the funniest one?
Yeah. And then the person that read the card gets to pick which one they think's the funniest one. And you can pay up to like 10 or 12 people. It would be a fun, like market center game to play with your ALC or something.
Oh,
anyway,
my gosh.
Chris and Ann and I played it this past week at Christmas at their house, and Tony and Diane and Jimmy and I played it when we were in Austin. It was so fun. Diana turned me on to it. So
great. We love to play games. So that is awesome. Well, I feel like we have a ton of good stuff for this year.
Yep. Okay. So we're just going to have to, maybe let's do a July check. Let's do a mid-year. I was
Yeah.
really surprised how much we got done. I don't know about you. I didn't look at them any more after I wrote them last year. And I said I was going to look at them regularly, and I didn't. So that being said, let's do a check-in in July.
Yep.
And that'll hold us a little more accountable to getting it done. Because here's the thing. I didn't even read the one thing till the last week of December because I saw it on the list.
Yeah.
And I got it done. So,
Yeah.
so I think if we look at it, we'll get our rears in gear and get more of them done this year.
I totally agree. Well, I know we've been saying we wanted to do this, and I just remembered and I brought it up. So on a quest to get to our 500 ratings, we do have 136. So I think we can sprint to 200. But we just got several at the end of the year. So I thought I'd read two really quick. And thank you so much to these people. So Jamie Moore said, Linda and Dana bring content, advice, wisdom, and personality that help make real estate easy. Listening to this show will grow you as a person, a business owner, and a salesperson. Thank you, Linda and Dana. And then I don't know the last name, Suzanne219 just gave us this one last week. Linda and Dana blow my mind every week. Just when I think I might not be interested in the featured topic, they always banter and make it fun and interesting. And I always learn something new every time. I look forward to every episode.
Awesome. I love that. Which, by the way, that reminds me, if you have a topic that you would love for us to cover or a guest that you think would be good for, I think we had some great guests last year.
We did.
We really did. But if you have a topic, a challenge, an opportunity, or a question you'd like for us to cover in the podcast, reach out to us at info@everything life and real estate. And if you have not, please hit the subscribe button and let's help Dana hit her goal of 500 reviews, and let's just go to 200 first. That would be great. And that would be the greatest compliment.
You know what? We moved so fast though. We didn't celebrate that. We did hit 200,000 downloads, which is huge.
Oh, yes. Yes. That was a great one. That was I think that was the episode where we talked about the 3 things that agents need to do next year by Gary Keller. I love it. Awesome. Yep. Yes. And I think we've had some great reviews over Shannon that we had as our guest. We've had some great guests. So
Shannon might need to be added as like a third co-host or something. All her episodes are so good.
Yeah, that's true. We'll have to really work hard this year to get to beat the guests we had last year, because we had Dan Sullivan. We had we'll have to work on Gary Keller. He said yes, but we haven't gotten him yet. So we'll have to work on
that'd be
him.
a great one.
So thank you, Dana. I appreciate the opportunity to work with you. I will talk to you next week.
Same. Okay.
Be sure to subscribe for more business strategies and tactics to inspire you to live an abundant real estate life. Don't forget to rate and review so we can bring you the best content. Find this and other valuable information at everythinglifeandrealestate.com.